So hey everyone, my name is Vincent and I'm here at Korin today, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the difference between a honing steel and a sharpening stone. So a lot of times people get the two mixed up. A sharpening stone is actually grinding a new edge, it's creating a new edge on your knife. But a honing steel or rod is just realigning that edge on your knife. So it will work as a quick fix if you're in the kitchen and you need your knife to just perform a little bit better. This is going to be a really easy way to help your knife perform better. But this does not replace a sharpening stone. This is not going to be able to create a new edge on your knife. Now, there's different kinds of honing steels out there, and I just wanted to go over a couple of the ones that we have here at Korin. So let's start with this right here. This is the Masamoto honing steel. This is your very standard steel. It's made of a metal, and it's got this groove texture on it, which is going to be great for a couple of reasons that I'll get into in a moment. But this is going to be able to hone pretty much all your knives, realign the edge really well, and it's just an overall good quality steel. Now these grooves here, and I don't know if you can hear it, I'll try to get it on the mic maybe. But these grooves are very useful in actually cleaning off your knife. Now a lot of people don't realize this, but a lot of butchers will use a knife, and what happens over time is the fat or grease from the meat will start to coat the edge of your knife. And these grooves are going to essentially scrape that off of your knife and clean up the edge of your knife, allowing the knife to perform better. So a steel can be used to realign your edge, but it's also good to, again, clean that edge and free it of this fat or grease that builds up over time. The next one here we have, this is a diamond honing steel, and this is very popular as well due to the fact that there's diamond coating. It's fairly rough on the steel itself. So this has two purposes. The diamond, again, can help scrape off that fat or grease that builds up over time on your knife, but it's also pretty abrasive, so it's going to take off a little bit more metal as well. So this is essentially doing a little bit of sharpening at the same time you're realigning your edge. I wouldn't recommend this to be your sole method of sharpening your knife, but this, for those who need it, can do a little bit of sharpening as well. And it's actually very light. Now the two I have here that's left here are a couple of my favorites actually. So these are the ceramic honing rods. And why ceramic is good is because it's a very hard material. You've heard of ceramic knives, those are there because a hard material will hold its edge for a long time. And same thing with the ceramic steel, it's very hard. So it can hold up to a lot of different steels. The higher quality steels, if you talk about VG10 or powder steels, they're usually tempered to a very high HRC, which represents hardness. And again, the ceramic is just capable of holding up to that. Now the downside of a ceramic steel is that it is a little bit more delicate. So if you drop this, it's very likely that it can break. So you want to be very careful when using one of these. Now this particular one has these, it's like a hexagonal shape. So it has these corners on the steel itself. And the corners, again, just like we talked about with the previous stones, previous steels, the corners can be used to scrape off that fat or grease that coats the edge of your knife. And last but not least, we have our MAC ceramic steel. This one right here is actually one of our best sellers, and the reason for that is because it's essentially a high quality ceramic steel. So all the benefits apply here as well. It's a hard material that can hold up to a lot of these higher quality knives, but it's also a little bit more durable. So it can break if you drop it, but I think it's a little bit more durable than the first ceramic steel that we went over. Now there's a couple of different textures on this steel. There's a smooth side, and there's two sides with little grooves on it, similar to the first Masamoto steel that we talked about. Just like the other ones, the grooves are great for removing material from the edge of your knife, and the smoother side, I would say, is best for honing or realigning your edge. So some of you guys may not be aware of how to properly use one of these steels. A lot of times on YouTube videos or TV, you'll see chefs go really fast honing their knives. And that's okay. If you're confident in what you're doing, you know how to maintain the proper angles, that's going to be fine. But a lot of people end up wobbling their angles and they end up scratching the body of the knife. So there's a couple of things that I like to recommend, especially if you're new to using one of these steels. Now, what I like to do is I like to hold the steel and I like to place it against a solid surface. So that way, the angle is going to be easier to maintain. You're not going to be wobbling as much, so you can maintain the proper angle more consistently, more easily. So what I do is, again, I hold the steel against the firm surface, and I like to hone one side, then the other side. And I'm going to go slowly, but consistently. This way, you're going to scratch up your knife a lot less. And the angles are going to be a lot more consistent, so your bevel is going to be a lot more even. So you saw me do one side on both sides of the steel, I guess you could say. But another way you can do it is hold it at an angle, come from the top down, and then flip and go the other way around. So you can do whichever way is more comfortable for you. This method that I'm showing you right now is how my mentor taught me originally. I just found my way a little bit more easy for my liking, but whichever works for you, the most important thing is to maintain the proper angle consistently as possible. So I hope you guys found this video a little bit helpful. I hope it clarifies the differences between steels and stones, but also between the different steels that are available. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.